What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Thursday edition of Crypto Connoisseurs. We've got a big one today. The markets are looking red. This is kind of a carry-on of what I did on my live stream the other day when the markets first broke down. We're going to be talking about a lot of important stuff. There's a lot of important. Let me try that again. We'll be talking about a lot of important stuff today, including the best projects in the space coming up, some things that we're really optimistic about, but we're also going to try to give you some color on what's going on right now in the crypto market as well as NFT market. We've got some experts in both fields. We've got Stock Guru on the channel today and our resident guest, the Brett's Way. And we're also going to be giving away some whitelist spots for some crypto projects. I'm actually going to be checking in. There's a really cool project coming up called Jurassic Punks. Sick animation. I don't know if we're going to get some whitelist spots on this show or next one, but certainly we'll be giving away some whitelist spots for some other NFT projects. So make sure that you're stay tuned and watch the whole thing through so you can figure out how you can win some What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Thursday. Okay, let's dive into it. So we got some huge news, some macro news. Just if you guys, everyone who's got paper hands, if you sold your Bitcoin, if you sold your crypto, guess who's buying it up? Whales are buying it up. We had whales accumulating $3.4 billion in Bitcoin during all these paper hands selling their Bitcoin. So be careful, guys. This is intentional. Like I told you, if you're not watching my channel, you would probably have fell victim to this panic selling and had your Bitcoin bought up by whales since they are buying up all of it. I typically don't talk about meme coins, but like Travolta is accepting it, and it's just meme coin mania. So it still tells you a little bit about the kind of culture in crypto and how that kind of helps take things mainstream. Now you've got dog coins being able to be accepted at 3 million locations around the world. And then this is not news for anyone like who watches this channel or is in crypto, but like billionaires are talking about crypto and how it's a good hedge. And of course, it's always old white guys who have lots of money who are like, hey, guess what? Bitcoin's actually a hedge against inflation. It's like, no shit, Sherlock. Finally, come on. We've been telling this stuff for years. But finally, these guys are coming on and coming out, and people pay attention to them because they have success in their life before. And they're telling you, hey, we've got a crazy amount of inflation coming along. There's only one form of sound money in the world, and that is Bitcoin. Well, that's what they're saying because Bitcoin's a safe bet. We all know that there's other viable currencies out there like Ethereum and Monero, things like that. But the fact that billionaires are always speaking up and other people seem to pay attention to these guys because of their success and their like figures on Wall Street and things like that. We also have things like Ubisoft coming out with their NFT marketplace, and we'll talk a bit more about that. And I'll show you guys a video in a little bit that got a tremendous amount of FUD from the community of the gamers. But yeah, anyway, let's one more thing. Let's talk about crypto cases. Of course, this got hit hard in the market correction. We lost like $600,000 in value. That's okay. There's still several projects on here that haven't launched yet. But you see things like PathDAO that came out still with this market correction at a 7x. Quartz, really excited about that, launching the NFT. It's actually funny. I was surprised to hear this Ubisoft Quartz announcement when we all know that unique Kusama version is called Quartz. So that was kind of weird. But there's still like 5 more projects that we're talking to that we haven't put on this banner yet. But anyway, guys, if you're subscribed and watching this stuff, we're going to actually be airdropping some of these things probably coming January to subscribers of this channel and start making it rain project tokens on you guys. And of course, a big part of this is for play to earn charity giveaways. So that's really important as well. All right, let's bring on the guest. We got Brett. Brett, welcome back, brother. Good to have you here.
Dude, love being here. Thanks for having me once again. Always look forward to it.
Pleasure, man. And we got James, the Stock Guru. What's happening, brother? How's it going?
Hello, everyone. Doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, very, very good. Okay, let's jump into Stock Guru. Maybe you can tell us a little bit, since you do charts and things like that. Like, how do you feel about the market right now? What's going on?
It's not so beautiful. I was calling top November 11th, and seems to be playing out at the moment. 48,000. Right. I just made a video on it right now. It's very important where we are right now. Some whale is holding it up with 500 Bitcoin buy orders. If he stops, there's nothing holding this up to drop to the 40K except this guy. And it's one guy, because on the volume you can see it. It's like 500 Bitcoin every 15 minutes. So let's see if he keeps holding it up. It's very important what he's doing. It's probably Michael Saylor.
Where do you get this information? Where do you see this one person, this one wallet address buying 500 Bitcoin at a time?
you can see in the volume. So if you use volume indicator on TradingView and you go into the closer timeframes, you can see like the volume bar that shows you in that 15-minute time frame how much Bitcoin is bought and sold during that 15 minutes. So if you go into that, you can see like nearly exactly at 48,500, there's 500 Bitcoin buy orders over and over. And this was playing out a few days ago as well when we came down to this 48K. And this time, if it holds, it's just going to create an amazing floor. So it's why it's very important is if this holds right now, we create a very strong floor that a lot of people are going to put money into all of a sudden because they know that it's being propped up above 48,000. Hello,
yeah. Well, yeah, that's, I mean,
comment.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, it could be Michael Saylor. It could also be, any other Fortune 500 company who, now has the green light to add to their balance sheet and decided that they were going to wait for a pullback to hedge, like hedge against inflation, hedge against things like that. So who knows? But, that's my opinion right now is that all of these institutions and billionaires and things like that are looking for good buying opportunities. And I just think that there's too many of these people, including countries like El Salvador, for example, and other countries who are buying up Bitcoin that haven't told us yet that they're buying up Bitcoin. I think that there's a lot of really wealthy entities around the world that are just waiting for dips to buy them up. Yeah, I think I've talked about before in my videos. It just seems like there's too much demand to let the price fall too much, but who knows?
And this senator hearings yesterday, they were pretty good. Did you like the kind of vibe was that they're looking to regulate, but they're also opening up and they want to understand this technology. It seemed like a really nice vibe when I was watching the videos of this hearing yesterday. This could also be what was kind of like the market is waiting for, to find out what's going to happen with these hearings. If like the US government comes down cracking hard, then people will pull out. But if they show kind of like they're open and they want to understand this and they want to incorporate it, then maybe we start moving up strong here. But 48K 500, where we are right now, is very important.
This is what I wanted to. I was going to bring up later in the show, but since you brought it up, let's talk about it now. So we have these Senate hearings where basically you've got a bunch of representatives from the crypto industry that are there representing and trying to educate Congress about crypto. And this is really important for regulations moving forward, the infrastructure bill that none of us seem to like. And some of the people in attendance were like Jeremy Allaire, who was the chairman and CEO of Circle. If you guys don't know, Circle is a creator of USDC. You've got SBF, good old Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of FTX, and also I think one of the founders of Alameda Research. You got Brian Brooks, who was the former Coinbase guy, and then also was like Office of the Comptroller, and also like Fannie Mae and all this stuff. So the guy also was in attendance. You've got Charles, who's CEO and founder of Paxos, Danelle Dixon, who's from Stellar, and also Alicia Haas, who's a Coinbase CFO of Coinbase. So like some big powerhouses in that trying to teach it. But let's watch this video and you guys can give some comments on it.
What makes Web3 different is the ability to own the actual network. And that's what crypto assets themselves represent, is an ownership stake in an underlying network. So when you hear people talk about, for example, layer 1 tokens, what they mean is this is your reward for providing the ledger maintenance services, the computing power to the network that on Web 1 and 2 was done by Google, right? So now people in my hometown of Pueblo, Colorado can actually own the Ethereum network, but they can't own the internet. That's owned by Google and a few other companies. That's what the project of crypto is all about, is allowing people to directly own the networks that have native assets that are supporting it, and that's the nature of decentralization.
You guys think that that messages like this are actually going to resonate with people who are making decisions on Capitol Hill?
I think they wouldn't understand anything he just said.
I think he used a lot of, though it made sense to me, I think he used a lot of big words that these people that didn't grow up with computers will never understand.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them. That's the problem. They're a little bit too old for this technology.
Our whole government, but we don't need to get political over here.
Well, I guess, Brett, living in America, how does that make you feel, being an American, living in America, and being so actively involved as a public figure in the NFT and crypto space?
Yeah, thanks for throwing that public figure part in there. Not great. I'm very unsettled. I've been exploring options outside of the United States very heavily. It's just there's no clarity. And you kind of get the idea that maybe they kind of know what's going on and they're kind of after you. Like you just have that feeling in the back of your mind that they don't want to see you succeed in this space, and they kind of feel like it's a threat to the US dollar. Like that's like the underlying impression I get. And then just the lack of clarity is just not fun to live with. So I'd rather be in a place that's much more forward thinking and wants to incentivize entrepreneurs and innovators in their country. So I'm strongly considering that move right now.
I think America is going to start that's why they're having these hearings. They're already understanding that they can't miss out on this. They have to understand what it is, and they have to start integrating in their systems. Otherwise, they wouldn't already be at the Senate. They wouldn't already be having these kind of hearings. So I think they're going to position people that are in this space or experts in this space. You'll be someone that comes up and explains to these old people what exactly this is and how it's going to work. I don't think they're going to come up after you anymore. I'm getting this right now, all these big companies like Visa, etc. Everyone's coming into this space. All of us that have been here a while to understand this technology are going to be kind of positioned as the experts that explain or kind of integrate this technology into the old legacy systems. So being fearful of this, I don't think you need to worry about that anymore. A few years ago, yes, even last year, I had the feeling like they're going after these people like us. But this year, I'm feeling the vibe change. It's more like they need us to understand and integrate these technologies. And they realize they're missing out, or they're waking up to how powerful this technology is. So not to be too worried anymore.
To hear. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Let's Brett, this is gonna be for you, man. Let's watch this video from Ubisoft, and then you can kind of comment on it. It got a tremendous amount of hate and FUD on this video.
So bizarre. Bizarre.
In fact, it's bizarre to people like you and I, but let's watch the video, and then you can break it down why there was so much hate. So yeah, I'm confused too, because basically what I'm hearing is that people are pissed off because instead of just buying in-game assets and having to leave them on the video game, now you can buy in-game assets and take them with you. So I don't get it. What is up, Brett?
You see in the mainstream, normal people world, there's multiple narratives that people have just ingrained in themselves. One, they think that NFTs are the worst thing for the environment ever for some reason. Two, I think it's more so you see the right-click savers. Those are 90% of people. They don't understand the value of digital ownership, which just blows my mind. It seems like a simple concept in theory. And then the third one is just these people probably just have I don't know, just a mental stand that they've made that's in line with their identity, and they're in this group and they want to be conform with them. I don't really understand why they're so against it, but they just have this idea in their mind, and they hear the term NFT, they get mad. It's just very bizarre to me. If you watch that Senate speaker, I don't know what his name was. He did a great job, but he explained how people just were really skeptical about email at first because it was going on a network in the air invisibly, and it scared people. So I think this is just natural for mass adoption. People usually just reject change at first, in humans, but overall this is a very beneficial thing for consumers to actually own your in-game assets that you play with and can actually resell it. It's always been in the gaming ecosystem. Once you put that money in, you're never getting it out. So this is probably the very start of what we're going to see more and more, and it's going to be the future in 5 years. It'll be the standard without a doubt.
Yeah, and I like that it was already starting out with a AAA game that you could actually already do this in. It's a bit scary for those of us who are building this space and want to kind of get that leg up. But it's telling you that these kind of big studios are closer than we expected, or these big enterprises closer than we might have thought into coming into our space.
I wonder if some people come on, they know what NFTs are, they don't like them, and they see that video and they think they're just trying to capitalize on NFT hype to promote their game, if they have bad intentions. But I don't see the hate. We saw Discord release just a single screenshot of connecting your Ethereum wallet, and they immediately had to walk it back, delete the post, and apologize for even considering NFTs because there's such an overwhelming wave of hate that it's horrible for the environment. And so if you look at the Ubisoft tweet about it, they specifically say carbon neutral or emission free or something, specifically trying to knock out that objection that is bad for the environment. And so it's very interesting that these companies are so conscious of that, and they're making that promotional video such a big part of their brand push right now. And so it's kind of is this really an NFT, or are they just trying to get this for marketing to build off the hype of NFTs right now? It's kind of hard for me to tell what their intentions are with that post. So I kind of see both sides of the hate, but at the end of the day, we want more companies to be doing this. So I'm all about it.
I like the way they did that, like the serial number on the mask kind of thing. That's going to be really as a gamer, when you win, you get better legendary stuff, better status, better rank. You always have different medals and things that are inside the game, like Call of Duty, This kind of skinned face with the serial numbers, I think this is going to be very popular. Maybe they have a resistance at first, but I can see people competing for the top serial numbers like crazy. It's going to be huge.
There's a game called Counter-Strike. Have you ever played Counter-Strike?
Yes, love it.
I paid thousands of dollars for skins in that game. I think that's why we understand NFTs so well.
Yeah, it's going to be very popular, this rank systems. Oh, now you said Counter-Strike, I missed Assault, the map Assault.
A tokenomics.
That's the best.
I think a person that understands tokenomics and making in-game economies is going to be one of the most high-paying jobs in the future, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, it's absolutely critical to the long-term success of a crypto economy. I mean, this is what I tell all projects. That it's very, very fragile. Maybe not initially, because there's plenty of tokens to go around. You can kind of they last for a while, but when you see big adoption, Axie has probably many economists and the PhDs on their team try to figure out how to make it more viable for people to play to earn the SLP, keep that price at a decent price, and then also control inflation and things like that in the economy. This is a good comment here. Gamers are frustrated by the increasing focus on in-game purchases. They want to just buy a game and be free to play. The NFT integration will not be well received until the front end cost evaporates.
I disagree, simply because these in-game items are specifically aesthetic, and it's a complete optional choice. You're buying those just to kind of signal in the game that you're successful in real life and that you look badass. It's not specifically that you have to pay for an advantage when it's just a skin. It's a choice, in my opinion, for that specific example.
And they'll make it eventually competitive based. The best skins will be not based off financials, but prizes for ranking, for becoming the best ranked or having the highest PvP scores. I think that's what's really going to set this off, the whole competitive aspect.
Absolutely. That's a good point. There should be a way to actually earn it for free.
This is what we're going to do with Magicraft. We're going to do a lot of PvP arena kind of PvP battles, clan battles, guild wars, and then all the top NFT items or the top items, they're not going to be able to purchase. We'll let them sell it, but the main thing is that they're going to compete for these castles, compete for these weapons, and the best ranked clans or teams will get these kind of items. Make it more competitive, not really financial based. And
then if they want to sell it, they benefit financially because it's hard to get. That's smart.
Yeah. And then most of them won't want to sell it because it's
they earned it.
It's they earned it. Yeah. It's something difficult to do. There was something like this in a game I played called Lineage 2. I don't know if you ever guys played this, but there was a weapon that would drop into the world once every month, and it would just randomly announce to the entire server that this king weapon dropped into the world. And it'll tell the location to the entire server. The whole world would know the location of this weapon. And everyone from around, hundreds of thousands of people would pour into this, where the location was, and just battle it out. A huge battle would take place there, just trying to grab this sword. And everyone, killing even their own clan members and stuff to get this sword. And it's just what you can do with these kind of in-game items and NFTs are going to be crazy in games, especially when there's value to them.
Have you guys started acquiring any in-game assets so far?
I looked at Mirandus a lot this week, and it just hurts me so much thinking of buying a digital bar for 30 grand. But the potential there's so much upside potential. So there's a lot of risk, a lot of gambles involved in which project's actually going to pop. I'm more of a conservative person. I like to be like the second wave of people. Once I actually kind of get a feel like, okay, these people are kind of a leader, they're getting a head start, I'm going to ride that wave more so than taking random bets at the very beginning. I know you kind of like to do that. Kyle, you've been very good at it. So I got to take some notes from you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're good at buying all this NFTs. You have such a collection.
It is a bit nerve-wracking, but when you think about like so my perception on the space is that a lot of this the things that drive price are speculation, you know. So if a project has like, this is kind of why this is one of the reasons exactly why I kind of departed from the PFP kind of game, because I just don't have the capacity to flip, you know, and like most PFPs I purchased ultimately went down to basically illiquid, you know. And so unless you're ready to flip and hype,
it's getting worse.
Yeah, I bet. It's a bet. So you know, making it's a bit longer game for sure, right? So like, you know, I own land in big time, and it's a 4-year lock on that. So I can't do anything with the land for at least 4 years, except for bring our guild players to the land and have them start earning, you know, passive income on it, which is cool. I think that a lot of it has to do with really meeting the founders of these projects before you make a big investment in the land. But, you know, this stuff can be worth a fortune in the future. You know, if you have prime real estate in somewhere like, you know, Alluvium or Star Atlas or whatever, you know, in my mind, it would have been like buying real estate on the Las Vegas Strip right in the center before it became popular, you know?
100%. Star Atlas is the most interesting one because they have some of the most high quality like renders and art shown, but they're still so far away from their vision. And so it's like you're placing such a big bet on the founders, which they're very competent founders, absolutely should be, but it's just still so far away from me. It's hard to really conceptualize what could change.
Yeah, I didn't buy any Star Atlas assets because of that fact. It's so far out from being something to be able to participate in. You know, the guild that I'm part of that we're creating right now does have like, you know, $1.2 million worth of Star Atlas assets, like 30 ships or something like that.
Oh my God.
That they bought initially, and that's good for us. But for me, it was just too far out. Like, you know, I think that it's reasonable to kind of expect, you know, a 1 to 2 year, 3 year hold maybe on land, but because that could easily do 1,000x on the value of the land. If you get in on the early days, like the earliest of days, you know. I mean, look at Sandbox land right now. It's just insanely expensive compared to what you could have got it for 6 months ago. Or I have a friend who bought land in Ember Sword back when it first came out. Nobody was interested. He bought like a majority of the land that was available, and that he said that's gone up like 1,000x or something like that since when he bought it, which is only like 2 or 3 years ago, I guess, or something like that. Which one of the leaders in the space. But I'm not and you guys are probably better at like in-game assets to understand than I would. I can understand land because I used to be in real estate, and that's kind of obvious to understand how that could be valuable. But what do you guys think about like the in-game assets, like skins or like certain characters? Like how's that going to look?
I think it's going to be based off like attributes. So right now, or like if you played older games, you could already do this. You could pay real like big money even. I remember there's a weapon, Draconic Bow. It was $10,000 around 10 years ago. You would pay $10,000 for this bow. And it was a cool looking bow, but the main thing is stats were insane. Like you could one hit people, kill them from a long, like it just had amazing stats. So I think that's what's going to be valuable. These like attributes of the weapons, the armors, making you better than the other players. And that's what's going to hold a lot of value for like weapons, armors. And then also the aesthetic aspect, like you look better, you have cooler, like you like stand out from everybody else. And people always like sure, they want to pay for this stuff already. Rolexes, It's just going to be more in-game.
Without a doubt. That's kind of the game I've played in my life. I've played first-person shooters. It's always about who has the best skin, who looks the best out there. Obviously, your gameplay is going to show you who's the best, but who looks the best and is the best. Like that was things that we would all sneak into our mom's purses and get their credit cards for those $20 packs. And it's just basically minting at a young age from my whole life. So I totally see that being probably one of the biggest markets out there.
It's going to be huge. Brock Pierce got most of his fortune from this. I'm pretty sure he had in-game a website that would sell in-game items.
Who?
Really?
Brock Pierce, the billionaire who made EOS. He was part of EOS.
Oh,
Kyle
wow.
knows him, I'm pretty sure.
Brock was very very famous in the crypto scene back in 2017 and 18. He's one of the co-founders of EOS. One of the guys that's be responsible for like USDT. He also ran for president last election. He knew he had no chance of winning, but he still did it anyway. No, that's interesting to find out that that's how he made his money. I had no idea.
And he was also in the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
He was the kid in the Mighty Ducks. But he made first huge money from this. Yeah,
I see a lot of people talking about Theta and Arena. So Theta and Arena just had a really big pullback, guys, and I think that this is like personally not financial advice, but I think it's an amazing time to pay attention to what's going on there. So I'm personally trying to buy some in-game assets and land for our guild from the team themselves, but it already has. I see someone put over 5 million active users. I know that the statistic like a couple weeks ago was already 3 million active users, which is phenomenal. Like huge upside in this. I think it's definitely looking to surpass potentially Axie because everyone I know who has actually played of which game?
It's Thetan Arena.
Yeah.
Arena.
Let's play a little.
Thetan.
Let's play a little trailer for those of you who aren't. Go.
That sound design.
Awesome
sound design.
Like the people that we speak to are really excited about this. It's going to have more potential to make money than Axie right now, and from what I hear, it's really fun gameplay. So
where can you buy it, Kyle?
Huh?
Where can you buy it?
On the internet.
Oh, okay, I'll do my own research here.
It's the ticker is THG, and I'm not sure which exchanges it's trading on right now, but of course the DEX you can buy it on. We launched it on Paid Ignition like a month ago. It was like 146x over the public sale price, but I think that with this pullback, you're getting like 50% off of that all-time high. So, but these games that have traction like this are just going to be absolutely massive. I think. Do you guys know the active users in Axie? I think it's less than that even.
I have no idea.
Me neither.
But these games, like from gamer quality, oh my God, there's so much improvement to be made in this space. I'm actually glad that like I'm coming in, Ubisoft is coming in. I'm glad these big companies are coming in because it's like ridiculous. These games are so it's like when you play bubble games on your Android phone. Like we're so past this level now. I mean they can just upgrade the games.
That's my biggest thing about buying land is I really genuinely believe that if blockchain technology is demanded by the consumer in these games and play to earn is a demand or they won't play it, these big game companies already have all of that checked, like Rockstar and GTA will just make that transition much more quickly than Decentraland trying to get to Grand Theft Auto's level. I think that's my biggest objection I can't get over.
The thing is that they can upgrade quickly. Like we're building Magicraft now. We've got some of the big studios that built Battlefield, like some of the big games and Warcraft, not Warcraft, but a few of the big games, FIFA and things like this. And the studios aren't that. It's not like these games. They have enough money to transition into these. So in my opinion, like us, they're already building with these studios. So it's just going to be upgrades to their skins, to their servers. It can happen relatively quickly. So they can compete as long as they like start doing it quickly, which they already do. We're already working with these two big studios now, so it's not so hard for them to do.
Exactly, I think they'll just come in and dominate.
It'll take time though to build a AAA game with quality graphics that integrate NFTs into the game, connect through Web3. That's not easy to do, and that's not easy to do at all. This is why Star Atlas is like, talking about 7. You can do something like a turn-based card game or something that has decent graphics. One of the projects I'm really excited about. I still haven't got into the project yet as far as an investment, but I'm begging every week is a project called The Bazaar that's coming up. It's one of these kind of turn-based games that has amazing gameplay and look and feel. Has been developing for 3 years. The founder is like a #1 Twitch streamer, big time gamer, and I like this, like these games being like AAA games being built by gamers that have been like world champions, because they kind of know they know what creates a good positive feedback loop in the game. And so if you guys haven't checked out The Bazaar yet, I suggest that you do it. And right now it's completely under the radar. No one knows anything about it. There's another one too that I'm going to leak right now too, because can have there's one called Avalon, which I'm incredibly excited about too. It's a metaverse game that also creators can create their own metaverse with like plug and play or click. Like, I want to build this castle, and you kind of just do it by almost like Lego blocks, dragging it around and creating your own environments and worlds. It's going to be awesome.
Interesting.
Bizarre. So it's Bizarria.
No, the Bazaar. It's the Baazar.
Okay. I'm gonna start
What we're
listening to
doing
your
is
last
we're
few
just
videos.
building it out. We're building out in stages. So like we're making similar to Dota, where you have like this very closed world, very structured gameplay. It's like set gameplay that plays out, and then just opening the world out in stages to make it MMORPG, like mass world. I think that's a method that games can use instead of like just like Stylus, you're saying taking a few years to build. We don't want to do that, like take that route. We're going more like releasing something that's like structured gameplay like Dota, and then just releasing as it progresses, like as the months progress, years progress into an MMORPG. I like that because then that way you can keep the players, you keep the hype. I think it's like if you release after a few years, no one's gonna even remember like it's too long in game world. It's like decades in crypto world. So
I think that's the best bet. Like, release a point of 0.1 version is continually update it.
yeah, exactly. Like Counter-Strike.
So Stalker, everyone's asking if you're going to do Magicraft on IDO on Ignition.
I would say yes. We're already we're in talks with Kyle and his team, and at the moment with KuCoin and Bybit as well. So we want to like just boom, drop it everywhere. It's going to be amazing, which is happening in the next few days, hopefully.
Yeah. So for anyone who's watching this, if we can do, obviously, Stockguru and I have been friends for a long time, and I've known about the project, but I just don't know if we have the capacity to do it as quickly as he wants to launch it. So if we can, we will. And I'm really excited for the game. I'm obviously an advisor and a backer of the project. And one thing I know about James Stockguru is that like he's an executor. So if you guys haven't followed Magicraft, I suggest that you go do it. When do you expect to have some type of beta or a playable public demo?
Within 3 months, we're going to have the MVP. The studios already are working on it now. But the main thing is we partnered with 2 of the biggest studios in the world. So Technicolor is just like one of the biggest ones. Like they designed some of the huge games like Battlefield. So I wanted to go straight to building like something epic. I don't want to just build like these smaller games that they're just going to get blown out of the water. You either go straight away epic and you compete with these big games, or don't even try. So 3 months is our target for MVP in this like closed world, closed loop, similar style to Dota, and then building it out from there to become this MMORPG similar to Lineage 2, but focused on PvP. Like what I loved the most in games was player versus player, like killing each other. And what's something that's very cool for what we were planning to do, like clan wars and guild wars, but the same as in Lineage 2, when you died, you dropped an item. So imagine like in these kind of games when some of these items are going to be worth like $5,000, $10,000, and you go into clan battles where there's hundreds of people killing each other, and then you could have the potential to lose your $5,000 item for these like big competitions. It's just exciting what we can kind of build with this. I'm so excited for this.
I remember that vividly.
It's going to
like
be fearful.
Going to the wild in RuneScape, you'd fight someone at your level, and if you lost like 3 weeks of your life's work. And now imagine that has a real financial. Oh my god!
Brett, I want to ask you, Brett. Like you just mentioned, a little bit ago that the PFP game is getting even more diluted, even more difficult to hold up. And also, you've talked in the show before about this kind of inverse correlation between the NFT market and the token market. So are you seeing an NFT pump right now? And also, if the PFP space is becoming harder and harder to deal with. What are you focusing on?
Yeah, so absolutely. Yesterday was probably the most volume we've had in over a month by far. But the bizarre thing is it doesn't feel like it. Like the whole market's just getting so spread out. And the most concerning thing to me has been we had less unique wallets on OpenSea in November than we did in October. But we had more news than we've ever had. We had Post Malone, Jimmy Fallon make their profile picture aboard Ape Yacht Club. It was in a mainstream music video. So you'd think that the mass adoption would be coming from this type of stuff. But we had less wallets. And so it kind of seems like we have such an influx of supply. And a lot of these projects are just straight copycats of other successful projects, like an ape derivative. And people just see an ape and they think it's going to do well because the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And so they're like immediately coming in, falling for these like copycat cash grab projects. And then their wallets are basically eliminated from the space because they got taken advantage of. And so that's really discerning to see. For me, I'm kind of in a different position. I started my channel 2-3 months ago. I would see projects that I thought would do well, and I'd put them on my channel, let people have that information. Now I'm at the point where I'm responsible for 50, 60,000 people in a sense, and it's a different time in the space. So I'm doing much more due diligence. I'm in a position where I can pretty much get on the phone with any project founder that I'm interested in. Like if I see a project, the first thing I do is I want to talk to the founders, see what their values are. And so I'm trying to go much more deeper and really trying to understand the people behind the team before I even come close to talking about them on my channel. So I'm trying to just make sure I'm going that extra step these days to really understand who's behind these projects, because I'm a big believer in betting on people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of saturation.
Did you hear about this this OpenSea thing where they were considering going IPO, and now there's a big backlash against the? Have you heard about it?
We were stoked. We were going to short the shit out of that.
Why would you short it? What do you think?
They just don't have a very clear-cut mission, and their values are iffy. They don't seem to really care too much about decentralization. They kind of seem, I don't know any of them personally, but from an outside looking in, they kind of seem entitled to being the most, like the biggest NFT platform right now. And they don't seem to be doing too many things that are consumer friendly. And they don't seem to be too concerned that Coinbase NFTs are right around the corner. I think they have the best user interface, and there's a reason 98% of NFT traffic's on OpenSea. But to me, it seems like they're just waiting to be replaced at this point. Like there's huge problems that they don't address for like days at a time. And it's just and it goes down every other day, I swear. So
yeah, it definitely leaves an opening for someone to come disrupt that platform. I know that, Elio Trades talks a lot. Well, I don't know if he talks a lot, but he's told me a few times about his plan. They're building an OpenSea disruptor, a project that we launched that's a joint venture with Animoca brands. Mad World is coming into the market as well as a potential disruptor in that space. They kind of have a different value proposition, more curated NFT marketplace, but also an open marketplace, but also doing some really cool things with the VR and AR where you can kind of walk into your showroom and look at all your NFTs in the whatever kind of custom world that you want to create, which is badass. Imagine like me going and look at your NFT collection, Brett, and I can step into whatever world you've created and look at them all of them in the 3D or whatever. Yeah, it's epic. So that's Mad World, you guys. If you haven't checked that out yet, I do suggest that you go do it. It's very new, but it is a joint venture with Animoca brands, and Animoca is so massive in the space. In fact, we have a little statistic here about Animoca. I think they 5x'd their assets under management or their value over the past since November. Do we have a statistic on that? Yep. Huh? Past 2 months, 5x their value. Which is impressive. So you think about everything that Animoca is investing into, it's all games and NFT types of platforms and operations.
Huh? Do you want yours?
Animoca's.
Oh, we just had the article.
Okay, never mind. But yeah, and I just want to pat myself on the back too. We'll throw up this graphic too to show you kind of how Animoca has been doing. And then I didn't see it on mine, but I don't know if you guys can see that out there. But yeah, this is us. Yeah, we basically go back to this one. Yeah, Animoca did. Where does it say that Animoca? It's not the graphic that I said. Anyway,
nice 41 times venture.
Yeah, these numbers are unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yes, we did very well. Thanks. So yeah, I'm very bullish on Mad World moving forward. Like the guys at Animoca brands have so much skin in the game, and they're building a really cohesive ecosystem. So one thing that I noticed when I speak to Animoca is if I bring them a project to invest in and it kind of directly competes with another portfolio project, especially if it's one that they're JV involved in or have significant skin in the game, they're not going to bring that in to dilute their competition. So I'm very excited about Mad World and think that people should check it out. But yeah, the OpenSea thing is definitely something that's ripe for disruption.
2.5% of every transaction, billions of dollars, and they have no clear-cut verification guide, no customer service, no customer support. And the people are getting scammed left and right, and they don't really have too much interest in correcting it. I think their time is limited.
Have you seen much of a drop in NFT valuation since like December, like when we had this Bitcoin sell-off on December 2nd? Like what kind of drop across NFTs?
This week, like a week ago?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a drastic drop by any means. This was not a big move. It's been kind of pretty consistent volume-wise, but what I'm seeing is a lot of like the main blue chip projects are just like slowly bleeding. And so it's a very interesting, I think a lot of people thought there's a crypto pump coming, but. So
like these the crypto punks, they were valued, like Chris was buying them at like $500,000. Carl bought them one at $1 million. What are the valuations now? Like, are they holding these like?
They're at like 80 ETH. I think they're at like 80 ETH. I saw a few days ago. So they've been holding very
200,000.
Yeah, the floor has not. Yeah, it's right around there. The board apes are right on their tail at like 50, maybe like 45 right now, and so they're still holding pretty strong for how high they are. Like they were like what, an ETH less than a year ago. So it's absolutely incredible. But
I personally think that that board apes will probably eventually. I think that they'll probably flip CryptoPunks just because it's all about community, right, Brett? Like, and
they have like a cultural movement at this point, and more and more people are going to want one because more and more they're doing more and more to get the awareness out there. It's just simple marketing. Larva Labs is doing nothing. They just we're the first, whatever.
Yeah. Now we're just gonna go create me bits and these guys and
we're not gonna do anything with that money. So
not really adding value to the original punks, which I think is sad. Like, why would you do that? You know, the apes have massive cult following. It's literally cult-like.
And every event at NFT NYC was like top notch by the apes. Like everything they've done has been at the highest level consistently. So they got 90 million to play with now. It's going to be pretty incredible what they do next.
Have you, Brett, have you been following Neo Tokyo at all?
There's so much to it, man. I see it. I follow Alex Becker, have notifications on, try to see most of his tweets, but like it's too much for me. I'm running my own project. Like he's killing it, crushing the game, but I'm interested to see what the end result of getting uploaded into the Citadel is right now, because that's the ultimate question to me.
So I just uploaded. I bought like I have someone on our team that's helping me with staying on top of all developments behind Neo Tokyo, and even then we still missed out on some of the opportunities, like playing some of the games and things like that, or some of the kind of clues that we didn't catch up on. But I uploaded my IDs, 2 of them today, and everything is game theoretical on that. Like you have to kind of choose. You know, basically your IDs came in 4 parts. You had your initial ID, which kind of told you what race you were, what kind of sex you were, told you kind of like what kind of eyes you would have, like, you know, clothing, weapon, whatever. But then you had like caches that was a separate mint that would maybe tell you kind of what kind of clothing or accessories you might have. Then you had like vaults, which would show you a credit multiplier. And then you also have land, and you just kind of don't know what these are going to do. And you don't even know what Neo Tokyo is going to become. Like I would just, you know, and Alex has been completely stonewalled about telling anybody anything, even me. I'll just try to get some simple clue out of him. Like, hey dude, like I'm about to spend an arm and a leg on land. Like, is it going to be valuable? Or like, is it like, can you tell me that you're going to put a lot of effort into this? He's like, dude, I'm not telling you shit, you know, like like nothing. And so it's been kind of frustrating, but also, a really interesting experiment that's been going on. And I think this is another way to look at NFTs, where it was a totally different way of building a community, you know, seeing who's dedicated. And now it's a community full of like CEOs from different projects.
That's what he's claiming. That's what he's trying to get it to be. Like, yeah, I'm sure there are a good amount in there, but let's not lie. The people who got in there were the 18-year-old kids who had the most time to solve this bullshit riddle. So it's like you started out with people who had time on their hands. the CEOs are going to buy in. That was not like, but I love Alex Becker. I have been following him for almost 5 years. I credit like a lot of my business sense to his beginner business videos when I was like coming into the space. But he's new to the Bitcoin relatively. He bought after 2020. He's relatively new into the whole space, and he's an expert marketer. Like he's just building suspense, keeping people like wanting more, as he probably came up with this idea less than 6 months ago. So for it to be like being extremely built out and planned, I don't think so. I just think he really knows how to get people excited. He has a massive following from before crypto.
Well, it was, to be fair, it was Elio that was behind it was his idea, right? Elio had been planning this for a long time. It was just, he brought Alex on board to help him market it. And Elio was so busy with Super
Genius
Farm.
idea.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're going to kill it. Never bet against those two. That's a powerful team. Could not be a bigger supporter.
Yeah, I just don't know what it's going to become. And today, Alex put out some map like with the land, and like this should be a metaverse, but then like Ian from my team thinks that it's not. It's just going to be a community. So why am I paying all this money for land if it's? There must be a reason for it. But it's crazy that the kind of
they don't have a metaverse built. Like that's no way.
Definitely not built, but maybe one day it'll come. But I have no idea. I want to get into a little bit now about like what you guys are looking forward to. I know that you both have your own projects, which means that you have very little time to kind of really go and scout. Well, I guess, Brett, it's your job to go scour the market. Look what you're excited about. Stock Guru, I know that you're focused on building your game primarily and covering videos about the market. But still, if you guys could tell me a little bit about what you're excited about, I'd love to hear it.
So me, at the moment, Magic Craft is like full focus, but I think what's coming now is like we're going to move into these fan tokens. So I'm getting really like looking into if the market holds up. If the market doesn't hold up, I think we're all not going to be like interested in anything for a while. But if the market does hold up and these like it does continue on its bull run, I think the next thing we're seeing like all these teams getting their own tokens and starting to build out with this fan tokens. There's a lot you can do with that in just like tickets and arenas, and this is what I'm kind of seeing as like a big move in the space. Gaming space is still hot, but getting saturated very quickly. So this I feel is like kind of just like the movement is going into the whole fan token space. This is what I'm going to pay attention to. But right now, just focused on monitoring the market and make sure I'm not affecting the market as in holding it out of a bear market, but just monitoring it to see if we go into a bear market. Because if we do, a lot of this stuff will be put on hold and a lot of valuations of a lot of these projects will drop quite a bit. And that's what we saw kind of with the ICO in 2017-18. Everything was hot. Everything was being released, all these different projects. And then bear market came, and then it just went kind of like, not silent, but a lot of like 98% of the stuff just dropped out of the competition and people just lost interest. So if that doesn't happen, fan tokens is my next kind of what I'm watching.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of just looking for people that are doing something very different or they know exactly what their goal is. There is one project called Blue World. It's a person I've known for a while and followed. His name is George Blue. He's making like the Robin Hood of OpenSea. It's like an NFT stock market trading game. So he made like an algorithm, and the NFT you own is a 10,000 quantity collection. Like the market cap changes every hour is a day, and you could buy like a really low market cap company, and in 2 weeks it could have an extreme run and be like a top 500 rarity. So the rarity is dynamic. And on top of that, they have a ton of like boosters and different like sets in the metadata, and you're going to get points, and you can like invest more in your company. You can embed it onto your website. On top of that, he built like a whole marketplace with no fees, all of this in a month. It's absolutely blown my mind. It's like completely pushing the NFT technology forward. And it's something that no one really understands yet, but this could be like absolutely huge. It's like he's making you question like what's the difference between Robinhood for the average person who just opens up their app and sees if the stock's going up and this algorithmically generated NFT stock. So I think that's a very interesting idea. And another project that's literally minting today, Castle Kid. It's by Colin Tilley. He's probably the biggest music video director in the world. He directed every single one of Justin Bieber's music videos on his last album, DJ Khaled, Chris Brown, Lil Wayne 10 years ago. One of the biggest people ever. And his project's launching today. And so I think someone with that platform can really do a lot of positive things in the space.
What's it going to be called?
It's Castle Kid by Colin Tilley.
Castle Kid. And do you know what they're doing with this?
It's a profile picture collection, but it's more so community access to him. He has like a whole masterclass built of like teaching music videos. On top of that, he's going to do like giveaways to holders to come out on set for like big music videos and a lot of other things. But those are like the main two that excite me the most. I have a video background, so like this is like a way for me to learn from one of the best directors in the game. That's incredible.
That's awesome. And I love to see all the innovation coming out of the NFT space. It's like always think about like game theoretics and
That's
you know,
hot right now.
Yeah, and I think that's also something that any project that has a lot of game theory introduced to it is always going to do well. A lot of gamification, things like that, is going to generate a lot more interest. You know, because people like get excited about trying to figure out how to create the best game in the space.
Did you see Wolf Game?
I did hear about it. I think you mentioned it on the last show, and I did check it out. It's very interesting. It gets very interesting once people can start losing assets.
Exactly.
Money. Yeah, one of the projects that I'm talking to right now that we're advising that's totally in stealth is really cool. It's basically like, do you know Roobet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's basically like gambling, and I think that gambling hasn't had its time to shine yet. But when you start talking about things like Chainlink VRF, which creates a very verifiable random function, basically RNG, or random number generator, that's provable by blockchain, immutable. And when you can see that in the code, you have like the odds are transparent, your odds of winning, whereas something like Roobet, which is completely centralized, where you don't see what the house can be stacked against you, you know.
But they have cameras.
Yeah, cameras. In fact, a lot of people think that that when you like on a game like the Crash game, where I don't know if you guys have seen this, where like the multiplier of your winnings just goes up and up and up until it just immediately crashes. People think that that's all rigged too. That once you place a large wager, they just pull the rug from you. So I think this is another exciting space coming up. The project that I'm talking about is called Fair Play, but nobody knows about it because there's no public facing information yet. Really cool. And like you were saying before, Brett, you have to kind of respect anonymity in the space. And actually, this is not going to make any sense because we recorded your show earlier. But
yeah.
but anyway, you're talking about this anonymity and respecting that. And one of the things for a launchpad like mine or yours is, you know, a lot of these founders will come to us with full transparency, do KYC, but they still need to remain anonymous for whatever reason for the project. And so this is one of them that I think is very, very interesting coming up. With really cool mechanics too. Like the token supply is basically elastic, but not like on a rebase. But basically, if you win, tokens are minted. If you lose, tokens are burnt. You know, so your wager is burnt. And so with the odds slightly placed against you, I think a 51% the house wins, 49% the player wins. You create a deflationary economic model over time. It's really really interesting.
And you're almost incentivized not to play.
Yeah, exactly. Well, people are going to play no matter what because they do have that chance of winning. You place a large bet, you've got a 49% chance of winning. That's pretty good, you know. And people can, if people can walk away from that, then you can just place a bet, walk away, and be up for the day. But we all know that's not really how gambling works. But it would be deflationary over time. Really cool idea. Another one that's kind of similar to that is Mooning Monkeys as well. It's also an NFT project with some really cool rarities and some cool mechanics built in with like combining different things, increasing rarity level, or like combining different ones, you know, to make a more rare thing. A lot of really cool stuff going on over there. I see this. This is actually a lot of the projects that we're working on. Mr. 100X, Chillville, Koi, Avalon, Quint, Totem, and Luniverse. Like I talked to all of these projects actually. Yeah, so that's, and then also I want to give away some whitelist spots to Cryptoland, something that Brett and I are both incredibly excited about. Let's see. So what I want to do, guys, so in Cryptoland, and the whitelist spots that we're going to give out today, we'll do 50 of them, are basically going to be where you're part of the community, which is very, very engaged. And it gives you access to the Vladimir Club on Cryptoland, which is going to be a physical island in Fiji, if you don't know about it already. But they also have 60 plots in what they're calling the blockchain hills, where people can build their own villas. And so in the comments below, I want to know, if you had a plot, what kind of villa would you build? Because you can build whatever your mind would think of. So basically, we're going to go through and pick out the 50 of our favorite comments about what kind of villa you would build, whether it's like a mini Burj Khalifa, or you would build like the Taj Mahal, You know,
I'm
what
building,
would you build
I'm
on?
building a big mushroom personally.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that you might get a magic mushroom clubhouse there, maybe potentially.
Yeah, we got something cooking. There's something in the works for the clubhouse right now. We're pretty excited about that.
I'm excited about that for sure. Guys, if you want, also don't forget to leave your Twitter handle in the comments with what you would build on this plot of land. We'll give away 50 of them. And then let's see what else. Cornucopias, guys. I'm excited about Cornucopias. It's a sick game, and someone asked earlier about Unreal Engine, Unity, and is Unreal Engine going to become a must basically for this space? I'd like to know what you guys think about that.
Unreal Engine, amazing. So like Unreal Engine and Unity are the two best engines to build, and just saves so much time, like in building a game using the engines, because you don't need to create all the the characters, the land, the world by yourself. So just using their systems, it's going to be, you can't build a game pretty much without Unreal or Unity anymore, and it's going to be hard. Like as they keep building out their worlds and their engines, they're going to dominate the space, and it's going to be almost impossible to build without using their engines. Just because if you build something, it would take years to try to get anywhere near their quality and their designs and their characters and their 3D models. And now Unity's publicly traded company is like worth $130 per share. I think it's like, I'm not sure if it's $100 billion company yet, but it's like getting up there. So they have so much funding. We're building personally, we're targeting Unity, and we're also looking at Unreal Engine, the studios. And to build something without those two, it's just like you're going to build a shitty game like the earlier crypto game projects. So you have to kind of use these engines now. It's like not optional if you want to build something that's competitive.
JB, about no, not you. Who is this? Horsty. So this is what I was going to say about Cornucopias, guys. Like, it's one of the coolest projects that I've seen as far as the game design. It's sick, right? Like it's go watch some of the videos on YouTube. But we're actually launching them. I think, well, we did their IDO earlier today. They start trading tomorrow. But there's not a lot of hype or attention around the project right now. They've got great engagement, a very organic community, I think 22,000 people on Twitter. But there's a good chance that it doesn't skyrocket like a lot of these super high projects. Like, you know, like for example, if you didn't get into Citus Heroes from the IDO or something like that, or public sale, you probably want to wait until that dies down a little bit before you potentially make an entry. But something like Cornucopias doesn't have an insane amount of hype around it, which I think is a good thing for anyone watching this. You know, maybe it launches at maybe only like a $10 million valuation or something, and that would be an amazing time to get involved. If you go watch on YouTube, just type in Cornucopias and see some of the trailers and the art that they're doing, but it's very, very impressive.
From what I'm seeing, the Sinus game, Sinus
Heroes.
That's probably like of all the projects that I've been kind of being offered, or because I'm an influencer, you guys all know we get offered a lot of KOL or influencer kind of allocations in projects, and Citus Heroes was the hardest one to get allocation of. It was the full from the beginning, and if you tried, I think you got already allocation, Kyle, but yeah, it was pretty difficult. Very hyped project, very good graphics from what I've been told. This one seems to be a very big project or hyped project. I think the most hyped that I've seen in the space so far.
Yeah, I think.
Do you know much about them?
Yeah, I know everything about them. We actually did an amazing. Like, if you guys haven't seen my interview with Dan, the CEO, on my channel, go watch it because it'll blow your mind about the amount of detail that's been going into this game. It's something like, you know, the time. Like, one of the things that's going to be so interesting about the game is like, you know, the time it takes you to build a spaceship. You know, because to travel from one planet to the next. It might take you, 45 minutes or even a day to travel from one planet to the next. And it's going to take 5 people to man a spaceship, like 5 individual players. And you could get blown up when you're on your way to the next planet. So if you go to bed, you could wake up back at the starting point because someone blew you up while you were asleep and taking a nap. So it's like,
this is going to ruin people's lives.
Yeah. And maybe in a good way. Maybe
in the best way possible. But yeah.
I mean, the amazing thing is when you can actually talk about making a living off of playing a game like this, there's going to be so many ways that you can earn in Citus Heroes that definitely, I mean, when I was talking to Michael from Star Atlas, he was saying that people are probably going to be able to make money cleaning up trash off the floor of a spaceship, for example, like janitor positions, you know?
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So it's quite impressive. But one more thing too, I want to show you guys, which is also kind of under the radar right now, which I think you guys should all pay attention to. Stock Guru, we were talking before about quality of graphics and gameplay, right? So there are games that have been around for a while that are impressive. So let me show you guys this here.
Decimated is a multiplayer online survival game.
Halo style.
Persistent online world.
Looks like it's using Unreal.
It is.
Sign up for the pre-alpha on decimated.net.
So anyway, this trailer was made, I think, like 7 months ago or whatever, and it just goes. They've been working for 3 years. So you're talking about a AAA game with in-game economy. So the comments, I danced so hard to this. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, it was my birthday like 2 days ago, and had an epic birthday party, and there was a song the DJ put on that sounded exactly like that one. And Mike's sitting over here, producer and editor. He'll be putting up a video about this birthday party probably in the next couple of days, and so you guys should all definitely watch it. It was one hell of a birthday party. Guys, we got to wrap this up, and thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. The best gift you can give me is to smash those likes, and make sure that you're subscribed to Brett's channel for the best NFT news. Brett is. That's why I started watching Brett's channel is just to get the most up-to-date information about the NFT world, everything in NFT land. Stock Guru, about technical analysis, charts, things like that. He's got quite a gift for that. And then me, if you just want, my stuff. So thanks guys for everything. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all of you guys. Brett and James, thank you guys for coming on. See you later.
Thanks for
Thanks
having
for
us.
having us, man. Have a good one.
See you, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.